Hey YouTube, today we're going to be taking a look at another IYV Indian Vina. I'm very impressed. I've got two from them so far recently, and one of the things about me is if I find a brand that I like, I start just shopping deals for it to check it out. Because you know, before you really say I like this brand, you ought to have your hands on more than one guitar. So far I've gotten two. One was excellent but needs setup. The other one, the Jazz Box, which brought me some controversy, but it's oh man, I've done a couple videos on that one so far. You know, forgive me internet for making the mental association with a Birdland, but a Jazz Box IJZ 500, which was fantastic. And so, you know, once I see a brand, I'm like, so far 2 for 2, so I'm interested to see what else they have, and I start watching deals and such, and I got a deal on a green LP style. And now this is an open box. This is KC Fulfillment, a liquidation company that I got this from off of eBay, so we will have to see about what kind of condition it is in. It's still got the original prime tape on it and stuff, so somebody must have bought this and sent it back, and somehow they ended up with it to liquidate it. So we'll see what we've got, but very interested to share this with y'all, and so stay tuned as we unbox this IYV Les Paul style guitar. So before I go any further, I had my first, somebody calling me a shill on one of my videos. So let me make it clear, all of my guitars I have all paid for, and with my own money, and I'm currently not sponsored by anybody. Now I'm getting to the point that I might start getting some free pedals and stuff, but I'm just at that point, and if I have any sort of sponsorship, I will make it 100% clear to y'all every time. And it's going to be on the basis that I'm going to tell you what I think, and that's up to the company if they want me to give them an honest review. But I'm authentic in my reviews, and if I like it, I will tell you I like it. If I don't like it, I'll tell you why I don't like it. And so let's take a look at this thing. All right, this is a emerald green. Ooh, buddy. I mean, I paid a very small amount for this. This is a set neck, and this is emerald green, and I mean emerald green. It is a deep, deep, deep shade of green, and then it's got the cream, all the accessories, the poker chip and so forth, back plates, and the binding all match the cream. It's got top binding, and it is a nice arch top on it. The neck, oh, the neck is, I mean, the cut on the neck and the nut is very, very nice. Very nice. And it's got painted neck, and it's got inlay script on the logo, and it's got some nice looking tuners on it. And I mean, whenever I get an open box special, I'm always kind of holding my breath, because you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know why the person opened the box and sent it back. And that is, well, we will see how it sounds, but I mean, just looking at this thing aesthetically, it is quite nice looking. And I'll get an exact weight on it, but it does not feel super heavy. It's a little heavy. It's a full thickness Les Paul style body, and so it's got some heft to it, but very, very interested so far. I'm not seeing any obvious flaws. There's tiny little bit of roughness there. It might have been slightly dropped or something, but a nice reinforced neck joint there. Very nice. The buffing job is quite excellent. I mean, of course, it's, detuned right now, so it's all floppity flop. But the neck, I mean, it could be buffed down some more, but it's not sticky. I'm not going. It's nicely buffed. You can see when, particularly on a neck, you can see there's a particular sheen that you get from at least a half decent buffing, and this has got a good buffing on it. I mean, so far, just first impressions, I'm very impressed with this, and I'll be interested to see how it actually plays once I settle it in and tune it up and just, get a little deeper into it. But for being on even the lower end of the IYV spectrum, this is a remarkably nice looking guitar. And, I can see, I'm not sure what you even exactly would call it. There's some, it runs along a different grain in the wood going in there, and so there's a little bit of, it's not cracked or anything like that, but you can see from the arch top coming up, there are some little, and I'm being like, understand me, I'm trying to give you the most nitpicky assessment of this as I can. The back is, could it be buffed a little more? Sure, but I'm not seeing any runs, any bad joints or anything like that. The neck joint is smooth. It could be just the tiniest bit smoother. I mean, we're tiny bit, and that sort of thing you can buff out. I have sensitive fingers, and I'm trying to be as nitpicky as I can for y'all. But nice pearloid inlays. This has probably been in storage for a while, so it looks a little dry. The fretboard, I'll be interested to see after I get it nice and waxed up how the fretboard looks. The coloration, it's a lighter color fretboard, but it has nice, I like the wood grain, and the pitting is very nice in it. The inlays are well done. It's just, this is going for a very classic vintage Les Paul look. And so, as far as the looks go, I mean, so far so good. This is incredible for the value of this guitar. To be in this level of craftsmanship is just crazy. So stay tuned as we get deeper into it and get her tuned up and see how she sounds. So I've spent some more time with the guitar, gotten into it, done a bunch of boring stuff that you guys don't need to just sit here and watch me do. Checked all the frets, checked all the electronics, got into the back of it. I've been inside, in and out of it and everything, looked at it, and I'm very, very impressed with this guitar. I mean, let's put it in the realm of expectations that we're dealing with around a $200 guitar, and you can find them for less out there. Like I said, I got this on an open box eBay special, and I didn't know what the issue would be. Now, the only thing I have found wrong with the guitar is just that there has been a little bit of rise. There has been a little bit of rise on the bridge, on the bridge pole piece. It has just come up just a tiny bit so you can see the teeth where it's supposed to be down in the body of the guitar. And it's not affecting anything playability wise. It's just, it would be basically like turning the screw one. But long term, that's super easy once the strings are off to just hit that with a little, I use this a lot, and I'm not sponsored. Thus far, I'm not sponsored by anybody. but the Starbond super thin fast set glue, that stuff is amazing for this kind of stuff where you want it to leach down in there and really grab. And it doesn't take much, and you don't have to cement the thing in there, just a few drops around the edge and set it down in there, and it'll be good to go. So if that's the reason, I'll take it, because I like to buy open box stuff and use stuff and so forth, because I'm confident in that I can sleuth it, I can figure it out. Guitars, electric guitars have not greatly changed in terms of the basics of the setup, in terms of the way that it's put together and wired and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of new options and things that have come out, but you get something basic like this, a traditional Les Paul setup, and it hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 70 years. I mean, it just, it's very, very similar. And so the nice thing, and this is like something that makes working on guitars so much easier than cars and stuff. Cars, you might know what an alternator is, but how an alternator fits into your car with your engine and so forth can be drastically different. Even two models that look like they ought to be similar, maybe they change this and say, now it's over here, and you have to do this to get. Guitars, once you know how to do basic stuff like wiring in pickups and installing, potentiometers, the knobs and pots and everything, once you've done it, it's like, well, now I can pretty much do it on any guitar that looks basically like this, and many more that look different. I mean, there's just basic principles that run across it. So anyway, little rant aside there, but and I can get nitpicky about things. I can see a little this, a little that, and a little ding back here and so forth. Not, it's not perfect. But we're talking a budget level guitar, and given that this is a budget level guitar, it has a very, very natural veneer on the arch top. It's very nice. Sometimes you get these and the flame maple just looks poorly matched, or you get close, and I mean, this is probably a synthetic. It's hard to say though. I mean, it's because you can see the lines of the grain from the arch, where the grain is running across the arch. So this might actually, I don't know. I'm not into all of the factory processing stuff. I pick up little bits and pieces here. I'm more so like, what do you do with it once you've got it, and can you tweak it or mod it or change this or change that, or what if it's doing this, how do you fix that? And those are the questions I'm more interested in. But I've got to give this, overall, I would say probably like an A-, in that I can point out some little things, but overall the aesthetics and basic craftsmanship on this are really excellent. And once again, the IYV folks really impressed me, and I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not a shill. Oh my gosh, I just can't get that word out of my head now. I'm not sponsored by them. When I get a guitar and I'm like, wow, that impressed me, that it was such a good guitar for a price, I usually get a few more to make sure it's not just, oh, that one was really good, but the brand otherwise is junk. And so far, I mean, craftsmanship and everything, I've got 3 for 3 really excellent guitars. Now, of course, it needs setup, and yes, I understand that guitars need setup. I've gotten some of these, you don't get that they need setup. I get that. The issue is, how much setup do they need? And can you basically play it out of the box? Basically play it. Yes, dialing it in and getting it set up to your preferences is a process, but is it completely wildly unplayable out of the box, or is it basically playable? And it's playable out of the box. Yes, you've got the fret issue there, and yeah, I think the action, it needs a setup, but it's playing really good and making some great sounds. And so we'll look at some tone samples here, and you guys can see this is it's like a super classic traditional Les Paul with a beautiful, beautiful body, beautiful sculpted body, set neck. I mean, a lot of things that you just don't expect to see on a guitar at this price point. And the one little twist that they made just theirs is the way that they shaped this horn, harkening back to a Florentine cut, as I understand it, where it's not quite the SG horn. It's still the Les Paul cut, but then it's just a little bit pointier. It's their one little little detail that they made the design their own. But otherwise, it is a very, very nice, very well done, well crafted Les Paul. Not exactly a copy, but post lawsuit we're talking here, an homage, you know, a reproduction of a traditional Les Paul setup. So now let's see how it sounds.